Governor Norman today for May 2nd. I'm Jared Wise.
And I'm Jacqueline Allen. Tuition increases at OU this fall is one step closer to a reality. The Oklahoma Senate passed a bill yesterday that will allow Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education to control increases. The bill is now awaiting a vote in the House. Here's the possible breakdown. For in-state residents, a 7% increase is likely. Non-residents would see an increase of 9%. The tuition raise would go into effect July 1st. OU's tuition is currently the lowest in the Big 12. Average tuition here is $2,046 a year, which is $800 less than the Big 12 average.
And Jacqueline, as you know, finals are around the corner and most students are doing what they do best, procrastinating. And as the test day approaches, the stress begins to rise. But did you know you can learn simple relaxation techniques and pre-test strategies that can nearly eliminate your stress and help you perform better on test day? All the tips you need are in our last and final installment of our health series, Health Tips 101. It's just about that time to start thinking about those dreaded finals.
The night before, and I'm, still have 10 more chapters or something to go.
And she's not alone. Most students don't even give their final a thought until the day before. And that procrastination spells one thing: stress.
In college, there certainly are a fair amount of stressors that come into our lives that are absolutely unavoidable.
Through these doors is the key to getting that needed stress relief before your finals.
This is the first semester that we've had this room completed, a specific room for the relaxation. The goggles use lights and they flash in a pattern. There are 4 categories in 23 programs that our particular goggles have.
Or how about a great massage?
Friction massage is used to stimulate the circulation under specific areas. Petrissage, which is a kneading or rolling of the skin. Tapotement is kind of a karate chop motion that helps to improve circulation.
But what if you don't have that great masseuse?
These beads are an economical choice. These were only $8, I believe.
Something else that's pretty economical is aromatherapy.
Vanilla, used to help promote, again, a higher state of concentration. So it's a good scent to use while you're studying.
But if you're in a crunch and looking for some quick and simple ideas,
you can use a tennis ball also to give yourself a foot massage. Progressive muscle relaxation is one of the oldest forms of relaxation. Squeeze your muscles, tense your muscles, and then relax them, either working from the feet to the head or the head to the feet.
And there's still one more thing that helps top it all off.
You want to keep your sense of humor, and always, laughter is a great way to relieve stress.
And what you might not believe is even things like fidgeting or chewing gum are also good stress relievers, especially just before taking that final. It's important to also remember that procrastination is not the best way to go. Study a little bit each day up until the final, and don't forget to take breaks in between. And while on that break, think about heading down to the relaxation room in Goddard. You don't need an appointment. The hours are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m., and it's free to students and faculty.
Norman police officers will not be arresting citizens for minor traffic offenses. This concern was raised when a Supreme Court ruling approved the practice last week. In the case, a Texas woman was arrested and jailed for not having her and her children's seatbelts fastened. Police said the actions taken were extreme and would never happen here in Norman. Police said that while the law does not prohibit officers against arrests for minor traffic offenses, it is not and will not be a practice in Norman.
And come August, you won't have to wait in line anymore to get your car inspected. Governor Frank Keating signed a bill that abolishes the state's vehicle inspection system. The costly program for the state was eliminated, but the state will still receive its portion of the funds by attaching a new fee on the annual tag. $1 will be added to the cost of motorist's tag.
If you're planning to travel this summer or even drive around town, plan on paying more for gasoline. Lori Whitaker has the story.
Increase in prices, no one is told about paying them. And with gas, that's no exception.
I want to talk about how high it is because it's like so $8 to $10 more.
Civilization in our culture is to go around in the car and go to the grocery store or wherever.
At the end of the summer, it is expected that gas prices will reach up to $2 to $3.
Try to economize by doing several things at once.
Lori Whitaker for Norman Today.
Save gas and having to fill up more often. Do all of your errands at once rather than at various times.
And usually unused meal points end up in the trash, but this year they could help feed needy people. Students can trade their extra points for coupons worth $5, $10, and $20 at the Kate Center grocery store. OU's University Housing and Food Services will collect the coupons and use them to buy goods for various charities. The trade offer runs from today through Sunday.
Coming up, we have the second part of our series, Color in the Classroom.
That's right, Jacqueline takes a look back at recruiting black professors here on campus. Stay with us.
What you up to? Hey, you know, the news in the city really blows. You know, you should watch Norman Today. They cover OU and Norman really well. When's that come on? In about a minute.
Well, hey, what are you guys watching?
Norman Today.
I forget this.
We're here live at the scene of a fire the police think has been started by arsonists. The Norman Today is the first crew here. The Norman Today is always the first crew on the scene. Watch the Norman Today Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon and 5. The Norman Today. We don't make the news, we make it better.
The plight of African American professors at OU is a lonely one. Monday we showed you the problem. African Americans only make up 2% of the faculty here. Today, the second part of our series, Color in the Classroom, Jacqueline takes a look at problems with recruitment. Jacqueline?
Jared, recruitment is the first step in increasing the number of African American faculty at the University of Oklahoma. OU says it's doing all it can without lowering the standards, but some say that's simply not true. They say quality minority faculty are out there, OU just needs to find them and then pay them what they're worth.
For the best and the brightest, regardless of what they look like.
The best and brightest faculty OU says it's found are almost 80% white. OU says that's because minority choices are limited.
And there are not a whole lot of African American PhDs. The pool is fairly limited. There again, when you start applying the standards, we're looking at a smaller pool than the general pool.
Dr. George Henderson doesn't agree.
I just want us to recruit more based upon the quality that we find, and the quality is there.
He says he hears the same thing all the time.
What I usually get is, if I could find one like you. Well, one like me, my goodness. I have 3 professorships. No, the 4th. I'm sorry, I just got the 4th. Sylvan N. Goldman Professor of Human Relations, David Ross Boyd Professor, Regents Professor, and most recently a Curl McGee Professor, Presidential Professorship. You're going to hire one like me, get real. I say hire one like the rest of the individuals who are being employed.
But the university says it's not as easy as that.
When we do find people, regardless of race, that meet our standards, they're usually being recruited by other schools as well.
And that means you have to pay more money.
And we make the explanation, well, you can live as well in Norman, Oklahoma on $40,000 as you can in San Francisco for $60,000, but that doesn't always fly.
It doesn't fly for Professor Betty Harris either.
No, retirement is retirement, and if you're contributing to your retirement on a $60,000 salary, that's greater.
But even if the university would pay the salaries, you have to convince professors to come to Norman.
Norman has not always had the reputation of being a city that welcomes minorities.
Only 4.5% of Norman's population is black.
Although I found Norman a comfortable community to live in, I think that others might feel isolated.
Looking at the numbers, in the last 5 years, 184 African Americans have applied for tenure-track positions. 12 were hired. A total of 317 tenure-track positions were filled. So African Americans have made up only about 3% of the total faculty hired.
It is not uncommon for a minority faculty member to be hired, and he or she will be the only minority, whether it's American Indian or Hispanic or African American. And I say, my goodness, when Noah was trying to do this thing, he got at least 2 of everything. So it's lonely.
Little by little, faculty members say it's getting better.
The message from the top is that this university will do better in terms of recruiting and retaining minority faculty.
But there's still a long way to go.
We can always do better, but I think we've got to be diligent. I don't think we ever need to slack off. I think we have to keep up our efforts and keep trying.
Dr. Henderson says plenty of qualified black professors and administrators are working at historically black universities. He says those are thought to be non-pure institutions and therefore devalued, but that in fact there are many top quality faculty waiting to be considered. Next week I'll examine OU's problems with retention. Why won't faculty stay? I'll talk to young faculty members about their experiences. And finally, a look at solutions to the problem.
Thanks, Jacqueline. The third and fourth part of our series, Color in the Classroom, will air at noon Thursday, May 9th. And education majors in Oklahoma are of extra value. A teaching shortage in Oklahoma is continuing to grow since the shortage began a decade ago. More than 1,100 Oklahoman teachers leave our state yearly to surrounding states. Many people attribute this move of Oklahoma teachers to the low Oklahoma teacher salaries. Oklahoma teachers receive on one of the lowest salaries in the Big 12. Other Oklahoma teachers say teachers leave the state for the better working conditions. The United States also is in its worst teacher shortage in history. And President David Boren dedicated a learning center on Tuesday. The Zorro Center for Learning Enrichment will strive to help students reach their full potential. The center hopes to focus on students' issues such as transition from high school to college for students with learning differences. Graduate students are conducting research and hope to eventually make the center nationally recognized. If you missed seeing the Weizenhofer collection of the Fred Jones Jr. Museum of Art, you have another chance. The collection of more than 30 works of French Impressionist art will reopen Friday evening and remain on display through June 17th. Visitors will be able to view the display on Mother's Day, Father's Day, and on the day of OU's commencement. For more information on the collection and operating hours, call Museum at 325-3272. And the sunny weather has been nice, but are we due for some rain? I think so.
I don't know. We'll see. But Tom's going to definitely tell us. He has the forecast next. Stay with us.
To be a mentor, you don't have to have all the answers.
Interesting. You hungry?
Yeah. You just have to be yourself, which, by the way, is pretty good. Do good. Mentor a child. Call 1-877-BE-A-MENTOR.
Randy Travis on strings. Branford Marsalis on the horn. Paul Schaefer on keys. Carly Simon on lead. There are a lot of different parts to play in the American Red Cross. Play your part.
I'll take Simmons.
Give me Jones.
Anderson.
Smith.
Lightfoot.
Bishop.
Hernandez.
Swifka.
Harris.
Lavender.
Peavy.
Yes.
In the game of life, you've got a much better chance at getting picked for a cool job with great pay if you take algebra, geometry, and calculus. You need to know how math can improve your future. Demand it. Call NACME. We'll tell you. As the American military gets smaller, who will be there to answer the call? They will. They're the National Guard and Reserve, and they make up half of today's military forces. As an employer, you may be asked to support their mission. Remember, their response depends on yours.
Welcome back. Tom Watt joins us with the weather. Tom, it's beautiful outside.
Gorgeous outside today, isn't it? Sunny skies, warm temperatures. It's kind of been a trend over the last week. It's just been gorgeous, but this sunny stretch is coming to an end, unfortunately, as we head towards the end of the week.
No.
Looks like we're going to start to see
more rain. Week.
Exactly, I know. It's depressing, but what can you do? You know, I guess. Well, I guess I really don't know. It's not going to be a very pleasant beginning to the weekend, at least. At least that's the way it's looking right now. All right, let's check out the current conditions. Currently outside right now at Max Westheimer Field in North Norman, 73 degrees. Relative humidity is at 73%. The barometric pressure, 29, 81 inches of mercury, and holding steady. And the winds are to the south at this hour. They are at 23 miles an hour, but they are gusting to 30, so it is very windy out there today. So hang on to your hat if you're going to be outside. All right, the averages today. Average low 54 degrees with the average high of 76. Now yesterday we were right about normal with the low temperature 56. 84 degrees was the high yesterday, so it was very warm yesterday, almost 10 degrees above normal. So far this morning, 65 degrees. It was a very mild morning. We're going to be topping out again in the low 80s today, so it's going to be a very nice day across Oklahoma. All right, remember this graphic? I showed this graphic to you a couple of weeks ago. Now this is the jet stream. I'm tracking about 30,000 feet in the atmosphere, about airplane height or so, and this sort of shows the track that low pressure systems follow in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Now a couple weeks ago we had this pattern in effect where, remember, it was cloudy and rainy for about a week stretch there, about 2 weeks back, and this was kind of the pattern. We were in kind of a what we call a troughing pattern with some rain out there, but now that has since shifted, and if you'll notice over the last week, it has been sunny, it has been gorgeous out there, and that is because the pattern has shifted. And we're now under what we call a ridging pattern, which means that this jet stream has retreated up to the north, and we've been under the influence of high pressure with sunny skies, and this is almost more reminiscent of June outside. So it's been a very summer-like pattern with very warm conditions here in Oklahoma, but you can kind of see a kink here in the jet stream. This is another trough that's going to be coming down and influencing our weather in terms of a cold front here over the next 24 to 48 hours, and that's going to increase our rain chances here in the Sooner State. If we head back down to the surface, you can see that cold front with a little dry line there in the panhandle of Texas. That's going to continue moving to the east with time. It's not moving too quickly, so we don't expect much in the way of rain today. A couple clouds out there as are visible right now. This one's going to slowly sweep across the state through Saturday and increase our rain chances as we head through the weekend. All right, well, let's check out state highs today. It's going to be very nice. Temperatures generally in the low to mid 80s in the north, 82 in Gage, 83 in Guyman. A little bit warmer down south. The warm spot will be Lawton today at 87 degrees and an 84 for folks in McAllister. All right, let's check out your forecast in specifics for today. There is a 20% chance of an isolated thunderstorm this afternoon, 82 for an afternoon high, with a south wind out there gusting 20 to 25 miles an hour. For tonight, we're looking at another isolated shot of a shower or thunderstorm out there, 63 degrees with a southeasterly wind. Tomorrow, a better shot of some showers and thunderstorms out there, 40% chance. It will be cooler, more clouds outside tomorrow, 73 degrees. On the 5-day forecast we go, that those chances of showers and thunderstorms stay in the forecast all the way through the weekend. Right now it's looking at about a 40% chance on Friday and Saturday. Temperatures warming up a bit to right around 80 degrees. So it's not looking like a total washout, which is good news, but, and I suppose we could also use the rain. We've had a very dry spell here for the last couple of days, so it's definitely not all bad.
But at least you're bringing in some thunderstorms, you know.
Yes.
That's the important thing.
Yes, definitely. And I'd also just like to say to my colleague Carrie Pinson, who does the weather here every other Wednesday, today is her birthday. She's 20 years old today, so if you see her on
happy
campus,
birthday to her.
Yeah,
yes,
happy birthday, Carrie.
Wish her a happy birthday.
Thanks, Tom.
Great.
Well, some Sooner athletes receive all conference honors.
And prime time makes his return. Chris has your sports next.
Stay with us.
Batteries and flashlight. Okay, you know what? That guy. Look. Okay, girls at 3 o'clock. What is he looking at? They're looking at us. What do you think? Oh, that's so obvious. Captain Obvious has scored again. Oh, wait, wait, say something. Oh, he's really in it now. Hi. Hi. Hey, guys. Hi.
Hi, I'm Sally, and I'm 6 years old, and I'm in the first grade, and I have an older brother, even more than he usually does, and now his teeth are all yellowed and nasty looking, and his eyes are all red, and his breath smells just like an ashtray. And one time when Rusty was smoking, he got caught by Dad, and Dad was really mad and made Rusty smoke an entire pack of cigarettes at one time, and Rusty turned green and got really sick and threw up all over the place. Don't smoke, it's yucky.
Okay, ready? Unzip my point. 2-zip my point. Yes. 3-zip.
There is a better way to have fun with history. Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
5-zip. Yes, sir.
Two Oklahoma men's golfers have been named to the All-Big 12 golf team. Cody Freeman and Matt Cohn both garnered their first All-Conference awards earlier this week. Also, OU women's tennis star Viviana Mroknova has been selected as a member of the All-Big 12 tennis team. This is her fourth selection to the All-Conference team. Mroknova is also a four-time academic All-Big 12 selection. The Oklahoma wrestling team handed out its individual awards recently, and it's no surprise Michael Leitner was named the team's outstanding wrestler. You'll remember Leitner won the national championship in the 141-pound weight class. Leitner finished his senior season a perfect 37-0. Once upon a time, Friday nights were sacred. Those autumn nights were reserved for high school football. Well, not anymore. The NCAA decided that college football games can now be played on Friday nights. The University of Nevada, Las Vegas has already scheduled 2 Friday games. 4 more college games scheduled for Friday night are also in the works. Well, the NBA playoffs are in full gear, and the Bucks and the Magic played Game 4 of their series last night in Orlando. We go to the video. George Karl trying to get his Bucks to finish the series off. Sam Cassell, he thinks that's a good idea, hits the 3 there. He scored 25, had 8 assists on the night. Tracy McGrady's been playing some outstanding basketball for Orlando. The Jam there, he finished with 25 points, 8 assists. Bo Outlaw, on the other hand, not playing such fantastic basketball. Paid millions, he hits the net on a free throw. That's it. Is that all you got, Bo? Glenn Robinson, big dog, 17 points, 8 rebounds. He hit the 3 there. Big dog is happy. So is our weatherman, Tom Walks, the Milwaukee native. Bucks win 112-104. Bucks win the series 3-1. Now to Dallas. Dallas trailed much of the first half. It wasn't this guy's fault. Dirk Nowitzki with the jam and the foul there. They rallied late in the first half. Steve Nash, it's tied at 42 with 1 second. Look at that. The buzzer beater, 3-pointer for Nash. Now we go to the second half, and well, it was all Mavericks. Michael Finley here, the Jam with authority. He finished with 20 points last night. More Dirk Nowitzki. You just can't get enough of the big guy with the 3-pointer there. Nowitzki, Nash, and Finley combined for 80 points. The Jazz only scored 77. Dallas won 107-77. We now continue the Dallas theme from the Mavericks to the Stars. We go to hockey. Still no J.R. Ewing sightings. Maybe somebody shot him. Who knows? Mike Modano for the Blues. He returns after an ankle injury. Doesn't look like he has an ankle injury here. Look at the nice skating. The pass there to Mike Keynes for the goal. Dallas up 1-0 at that point. Who's this guy cheering for? The Stars? The Blues? I have no idea. They couldn't finish it in regulation. We go to overtime. Ed Belfour for Dallas with the save there, the nice smother. We have to go to 2 overtimes. The Blues, Corey Stillman right there hits the goal. St. Louis wins 3-2. St. Louis now leads that series 3-0. Deion Sanders' mom always told him, don't quit your day job. Have a backup plan if football doesn't work out. Well, Deion listened to his mom. He got the call back to Major League Baseball last night to fill the void in the Cincinnati Reds outfield. It would be his first game in the Major League since September 4th, 1997. Taking some BP. Before the game, Deion, in the first inning right here, look at this, first pitch of the game, drives the ball to center field. He's going to thank the big guy upstairs. Now we go later on in the ball game. Deion, he's not finished. He's going to go yard right there, the home run to right field. Deion finished 3 for 3 last night in his debut back with the Reds. Believe it or not, great for Deion to be back. He's a great player. both in football and baseball, and you love to see the two-sport athletes. By the way, the Reds won last night.
Yeah, you see a lot of transition in sports nowadays, too.
You see more so
crossover.
I think you see more now than maybe you did in years past, but you don't see too many people that can succeed at both. Dion, his first stint in baseball wasn't the best, but hey, he's dedicated himself to hitting. He was batting over around 460 in the minors before they called him up. So, wow.
Man of many talents.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Chris.
You bet.
Well, environmentalists are unhappy with President Bush.
We've got more in our final segment. Stay right with us.
Sooner or later, you realize you're ready. Ready to believe that you can achieve anything. That it might not always be easy or quick. But the things worth doing rarely are. You know what you want. Get there with education, training, and experience. Aim high, Air Force.
Out! Out! There's no ways out! It's impossible!
Actually, Coach, it's not. See, Jimmy had to travel a distance of 90 feet. He reached an average speed of 15 miles per hour. The ball left 2 seconds later than Jimmy and had to go 1.5 times the distance.
If education is important to you, talk to your child's school about raising academic standards. Call 1-800-38-BE-SMART for a free booklet and be a big league parent.
Thus enabling it to reach the destination at a much quicker rate.
Did you factor in the wind speed?
Well, environmentalists are unhappy with President Bush's initial policy plans. They feel Bush is abandoning important issues such as curbing global warming and regulating carbon dioxide. Jenny West has more on the complaints.
President Bush's first 100 days in office have environmentalists complaining.
This is the worst anti-environmental assault literally this country's ever seen from the federal level.
The president's backers say he's bringing needed balance to environmental policy.
We've got some grown-ups in charge, and we're going to approach this on a mature basis based on what's good overall for this country.
The president has announced support for an international treaty aimed at curbing toxic chemicals and decided to uphold Clinton administration rules on wetlands and lead reporting. But environmentalists don't like earlier decisions not to regulate carbon dioxide pollution from coal-burning power plants, to all but abandon the Kyoto Treaty aimed at curbing global warming, and to push to open up the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge for oil and gas drilling. It's been a quarter century since any new nuclear power plants have gone online in the United States, but these days nuclear power seems to be getting a second look. The National Regulatory Commission has approved a new reactor design that is supposed to allow for smaller, cheaper, and safer nuclear power plants. That's Earthwatch. I'm Jenny West.
More environmental problems. Oh my.
It's a shame.
Okay,
you know why we have more environmental problems? Because Jacqueline brings this to the set. This is aerosol hairspray.
This is not my hairspray.
Are you kidding me? Aerosol hairspray?
This has been in the newsroom for 3 years now. I can't help it.
Set a good example.
Okay,
baseball game this evening, 6:35, Eldale Mitchell. Is it going to rain, Tom?
There's about a 20% chance, nothing too big. I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be all right tonight. As a matter of fact, tomorrow marks the 2-year anniversary of the devastating May 3rd tornadoes that rolled through the central Oklahoma area. Tomorrow at noon and 5, Oklahoma's Changing Skies, May 3rd, 1999 and beyond, will be aired. Brian Porter and myself, Brian does the weather here on The Wire as well, we put together a little documentary from the May 3rd tornadoes and safety tips and things.
Great, we'll be sure to tune in. And that's our final show. We're glad you joined us all semester. We hope you have a good semester as well. And good finals.
Goodbye.
Bye.